Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'd like to show you how I made these little Christmas gift tags. Yesterday I posted the video on how to make the custom size box to fit these tags, and I promised that today I would come back and do a quick video on the tags themselves. And this is take, 2 or 3. It's been that kind of day. So some of the stuff has already been done. In order to make these tags, I'm using Crumb Cake and Real Red. And these pieces of paper started out by being 2 inches by 3 inches. And I have 3 reds in Real Red and 3 in Crumb Cake. And what I've done is use this punch to create those tag tops, and you basically put your piece all the way in here and punch down and you get these little tags. What I'm using to make this this material today is this from the catalog on page 4 and 5, the holiday catalog, is this Candy Cane Lane suite. And it's just really a very pretty suite. And I'm using these papers, these designer series papers that have, designs on both sides. And I've used different ones to make various tags. Here's an example. This one is this snow right here. And there's the tag. And then in order to complete the project, I used this bundle, which is the Cookie Cutter Builder Punch and this stamp set, which is Cookie Cutter Christmas. And it is a cookie cutter bundle, and you get this this punch and you get all of these stamps. I think there's 17 stamps in this, and that is on page 6, if I remember right. Yes, page 6 in the holiday catalog. And the papers are really pretty. I've got a couple of them here that I can show you. I've kind of worked my way through an awful lot of them already. This is one of the papers that has this design on the back side of it. Then this one is just little spots of all of the colors that are being used, and it's got a stripe on the back. Then this one is awful pretty. It's these little candy cane houses, and in fact one of the things that I've done is fussy cut out a couple of these houses to make tags for the project. And on the back side are these little candies. And there's several different papers, and they're all very attractive. And so what I have done is in working on this, I've gotten a few of these things done ahead of time. Here is one that has this cute little bear on it, and he's got a bow tie. And then there's a gingerbread man. And I put together one with a little Santa, and let's see, what else did I do? Oh, I made a lighter gingerbread man, and I used a reindeer, and the reindeer is from the Santa Sleigh bundle. Here's the reindeer here, and there's actually a Thinlit that you can use to cut out the deer, and that's what I did. So I stamped him and then cut him out. And so what I thought I would do, I think probably the most complicated one to put together is this little bear. There he is, the bear. So I thought I would show, since I've done this video already a bunch of times, I would show you exactly what I did to put together the little bear. So in addition to this cardstock that you need, and the video shows you how to put together the box, you need a little bit of red scrap to cut out bows and little hearts to cover the buttons on the gingerbread people. And then you need a fair amount of Whisper White in order to make some of these little characters. And so what I thought I would do is show you how I made the little bear. And because he's the one that's most complicated. This little guy is just one, let me see if I can get it out here. Yes, he's just one stamp. And then I just colored over his nose bright red. You could also cut out a little piece of red cardstock, I suppose, and put that over the top, or just color his nose in with red marker, and then use the black on the rest of it. And this one is just a straight stamp. I added the little buttons. This one is a straight stamp. The reindeer was a little bit different because it's a stamp and then a die. And the one that was just a little bit different was that fussy cut out little house. And so the bear is the one that's the more challenging to put together. So I thought I would show you how to do that. So the stamps involved for the bear, there are a couple of them. Here is the bear body, and I am going to ink him up in Crumb Cake. And it's a photopolymer, so you want to be using your piercing mat here, and you want to make sure that you get this little bear completely inked up. And the way this punches out, you want the feet to be towards the bottom of your page, and you'll see that when we punch him out on the with using the punch. Okay, so I'm going to push that down there and get my little bear. And there I've got my impression. Then this is the bear's little face. This is a stamp that's separate. Let's see, the other thing I'm going to need to do is use the stamp to do his ears. So while I still have this crumb cake out, I'm going to do that. And again, making sure that I've got plenty of ink. This will dry a little bit lighter, and I'm going to push these ears all the way up to the top, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, there we've got bear ears. Now I'm going to put this ink away and get out my basic black archival. And I'm going to ink up the bear's face, making sure to get plenty of ink on his face. And then it's a matter of setting down the face dimensions right where you want them and letting that soak in for just a second. And there we have his face. Okay, so I'm going to put the black ink away, and I'm going to bring out my punch. This is the cookie cutter punch, and it's got the gingerbread man form on here. It's got a little bow tie, and that punches out like that. And then it's got the other thing that I've been using are these little hearts, and it punches out a little heart. So we'll set those aside for the moment. And what I found was, and I can just show you here, if I do the gingerbread man also, I can show you how this works. So let me ink him up. Okay. And I want to get quite a few of them straight across. If you're doing a series of these, you're going to want to conserve paper here. So what I did was I put the forms down one right next to one another. And there's my gingerbread man. And let's say that I wanted to go ahead and also do the reindeer. So I would take my reindeer and ink him up in the black. And I'm going to turn him around so that these antlers are on the same, going the same way as these feet. And I'm just going to put him down right here and see if we can get a real good impression. There. All right. And what I did was I used my Real Red marker, and I just went in and colored his nose so that I got the nice bright red in there. Okay, so let me put the ink away, or I will put my hand in it. All right, so when you use this punch, I always use these big punches upside down so I can see exactly what I'm doing. And you can see the way this punch is built. There's the heart is over here, the bow tie is over here, there's some circles over here and some small dots there. So if I were to just stick my bear in there and cut him out, you can see what'll happen. I'll cut the hand off of the gingerbread man. And if I decide to cut the gingerbread man out, I'll cut some of the images on either side. So one of the things that I found is once you get them all stamped, that unless you want all of those extra pieces in white, then I cut strips. And because the feet face the bottom of the punch, best to stamp these so the feet are at one edge so that you can manage them. Move this out of the way here. And so the bear is the one I'm most interested in. But now I can take my bear and put him in here, and I've got a little bit of waste, but I'm not going to hurt my other images. And the bear is a little bit different than the other images, and I'll show you. When you put the reindeer in here to cut, you see there's going to be a white border around that reindeer, and you just have to kind of get him centered so that you get it punched out with a kind of an even border all the way around. The bear, on the other hand, is one where the punch completely covers the bear and there's no margin. And that's so that he'll look like a real teddy bear when you get done. So I'm going to stick my bear in here and get him set where I want him. And I tried to get the little paw marks equal on either side. And then punch this out, and there's my little bear. Okay, now, and you see there's a margin left around where you punched out. So this is going to punch out the whole bear every time. All right, now we have these two little ears up here. And I found, and I'm going to show you two ways to do this. And both of them work pretty well. It's just how comfortable you are. These circles that are here on this punch exactly accommodate one of those ears. And you can punch out and get your bear ear. Where's my bear ear? My bear ear must be this one. There we go. With a little bit of white, I've got ink all over myself, a little bit of white along the bottom to put some glue to sort of stick that behind his head. Now, If you're a little less comfortable about that, the other thing you can do is fussy cut out the ear, and it doesn't take much. It's a pretty simple little cut, and then make it like an ice cream cone. Cut down here so that you have a bigger piece at the bottom. You see that? And then it gives you a bigger area to glue, add glue to add that to the back of his head. Either one of those methods works. Let me move my punch out of the way here. So what we want to do is bring my silicone mat in here, and I don't want to sweep away the pieces that I need, so let me get those out of the way here, and put down my silicone mat, and I'm going to add a little glue to my ears. Finally got my fine point glue pen in from Stampin' Up. I'm so happy. And I'm going to add just a touch of glue. It looks like I added more than a touch. So I'm going to use that. Let's see, there's some tweezers. To put some of that glue on the bottom of this ear. Another reason why you want to be using your silicone mat. Okay, so now I've got an ear with some glue on it, and I'm going to stick that in place. And then, okay, I've lost my other ear. There it is. Nope, that's the ear that I was just gluing on. I didn't hold it in place long enough, so let me redo that. There's my other ear attached to my hand. So I'm going to put that ear on my bear and hold that in place for just a minute. And now I've managed to get glue all over. Nice thing about a silicone mat, if it gets gunky, all you have to do is run it under soap and water and it cleans right up. So now I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the bottom here, and you can see how much more of a surface doing it this way gives you to secure the ear on your bear. So trying to match the angle now to this other side, and there I've got my little bear. And so he's kind of a three-step process. The stamping of the bear itself, punching it out, stamping his face on, and then adding his ears. And then with the way these tags are made, basically what we end up doing then is taking a piece of the designer series paper and gluing that to this and then bumping him up on dimensionals. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that. So I guess I need this back. Using my snail here to get a little glue on my designer series paper. Then I can place that right on here. And I don't know if I gave you the dimensions of the little designer series paper, but they're 1 7/8, 1 7/8, so it'll fit inside the 2-inch tag, and 2 1/8 for the length. And then what I would do is take my little bear and add some dimensionals to the back of him here. And I did find that taking either the bones along the sides here or taking a full-size dimensional and cutting in half really works pretty well. Here's a half at going down one of these legs. They just fit pretty well. And then here's one where I'm going to be using the bones. That also works pretty well at being able to fill that in. Okay, so we'll go ahead and finish our little bear and add him to the tag. And I just center him, eyeballing, centering him. And of course I should have done this before, but on the back here, the other thing that's in this stamp set is this little tiny to from. And so I think we can do this here to get this put on here. Yeah, I think that'll work. Best to do that before you put all the stuff on the front. But you get a little to from with a colon, and there's your tag all ready to go. The last thing to finish them off, what I did was use some of our baker's twine. This is a red and white, which I thought fit the theme pretty well. The linen thread would work really well as well, as so would the white. They would all work pretty well. So just sticking this little end through the hole here in the top of the tag, and putting the tail through, and then pulling that up. And that's all there is to making one of these tags. Pretty fast. And if you got an assembly line going, if you were to try and do several of these at the same time, and that's what I would suggest, do all of your stamping, then use your punch and punch out the pieces, and then you cut your papers, put them all on, and you can whip through this in pretty short order. Now the last thing we need to do for our little guy here, of course now I just put that lid back on. It's been that kind of day. Okay, so I'm going to add just a couple of dots of glue here on the back of this little bow tie, and I just think this completes the little bear so nicely. Let's see if I can grab that at the end there. I'm just making a mess of everything today. Okay, there's his little bow tie. He's none the worse for wear. And now I have 2, 3, already got a bear, 4, well, I guess we'll have 2 bears, and then a lighter gingerbread man. And then all of these tags fit pretty neatly inside our little box, and video shows you exactly how to make the box and how to figure out when you had, because there was no box for this to start with, and what I did was figure out what size the box needed to be, and that's what the video is all about. Okay, so I'm going to move a few of these things out of the way, and the last thing we have to do is decorate the front of our box here. And I have cut out this little paper here to go on the front, and I'm just going to use snail for that. And put that in place on my box front, like that. And then I had cut out a little house, there it is, where I'd already put the dimensionals on it. And so I can see I need to put an extra little piece of dimensional on that chimney. When this one is fussy cut from the designer series paper, and one of the things you have to watch in using that is it is paper, it's not cardstock, and so it's not quite as strong. So that little chimney needs to be supported. So I'm ready to take these pieces off of here. And I am reminded as I look at these other boxes that one of the things I wanted to do was to take that that twine, and I've taken my eye off of it, so now I don't see it. Take that twine and wind it around the box before I put this last piece on. There it is, it's fallen on the floor. That's usually where things end up. So with this, I need to just take a glue dot and place that down here on my box and start my thread on the glue dot and go around the box a couple times, securing it to the glue dot as I go. Then I can just snip that piece off and put my last bit of decoration right over the top of that thread. And there we have a very attractive little box of gift tags that are handmade and make a lovely little gift. So, and I'll show you, this is one that I had made earlier. This is one before I got my paper in that I made out of some old designer series paper that I had on hand that's retired. And so I did 3 or 4 different ones here. And I've got tags for just about all of them. And they're awful pretty and easy project. And it dresses up your cards that you're giving to people so nicely. Thanks very much for stopping by and watching my video today. I am going to be putting up something on basic box construction, I said in my video yesterday, about once a week, so that I can help people understand a little bit more about the way to make boxes and why people cut them the way they do, and a few things like that, so that you can learn to make boxes for whatever it is you want to put inside them. And we'll take some odd-shaped things and make boxes for them, and I'll show you exactly how to think your way through that. In any case, that's the project for today. Any of these materials, with the exception of the retired designer series paper, can be purchased on my 24/7 shop, lbedinger.stampinup.net. And if you don't have a demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. There's offers below. I have a drawing every month. This month it's for a bundle that includes a stamp set and a Thinlit die set, the Santa set. And I'll have the details on that below. Anybody who orders through me during the month of November automatically gets put into the drawing. And the winner of our drawing for last month was Paulette. And congratulations to Paulette, who won an envelope punch board and a Wink of Stella glitter pen. And if you order through me and you make an order of $25 or more, you get a product gift from me as well. So until we see you next time, bye.